Sonic Arrow on the 8.10 test server with the Tier 10 Japanese medium tank, the STB-1. First, let's take a look at the stats. It has 1,950 hit points, which is respectable, 37.7 tons, so you'll have to watch out for the heavier tanks trying to ram you. However, 750 horsepower engine, which makes you pretty fast, good acceleration, 53 kilometers per hour top speed, 52 degrees per second traverse, 42 degrees per second turret traverse, which makes you very agile. You can get around things very easily. Now for the armor, 110 on the front of the hull, 35 on the side, and 25 on the back, 132 millimeters of armor on the front and side of the turret, and only 37 on the back. This makes this tank not very good at side scraping. So you'll want to avoid head-to-head confrontations. You'll want to get around to the sides, or at least stay second line behind some heavier tanks with more armor and try to protect yourself that way. 410 meter view range and a 750 meter signal range. For the equipment, I have of course the medium caliber tank gun rammer, vertical stabilizer, and I fitted coated optics because with the 410 meter view range you actually get a pretty big boost. You'll be able to spot for your team much better and get extra experience out of that. I have loaded 30 APCR rounds, 10 heat rounds, and 10 HE rounds. This is, I think this is pretty good for this tank. However, you might want to load more heat rounds, I'm not sure. Penetration on this cannon, it's, well, first it's a 105 millimeter cannon with a 7.5 round per minute rate of fire. 258 millimeters of penetration, 390 average damage on the APCR rounds. Heat rounds gets 330 millimeters of penetration and 53 millimeters of penetration for the HE. 0.36 accuracy at 100 meters, 2.1 second aiming time, so it's not too bad. And it doesn't make me feel like I need a gun-laying drive. The vertical stabilizers just help on the move shots, which this thing can actually do pretty well. So we'll take a look around the tank right now. It actually is very similar to the Leopard 1. However, it has much, well, compared to the Leopard 1, it has much more armor. It is shorter, it's not as tall, and of course the front plate is, well, it's got more of an angle than it does on the Leopard 1. So if we take a look at the Leopard 1, hang on. Let's do that. And here's the Leopard 1. There. The angle is not as good on the Leopard 1. That's what it feels like to me. We'll just, yeah. So the Leopard 1 actually shows up, it extends, the hull extends a little bit over here and then comes down, so you don't have such good angles. But this is pretty good. And the turret, I have managed to bounce a few shots on the turret, but don't count on it. I guess they're just lucky bounces because of the shape of the turret, which is actually pretty good. Alright, well, crew skills, I just have all repairs right now. I don't really have a great Japanese medium tank crew, so that's what you're gonna get. Of course, the consumables. I have all the premium consumables here because you can buy them for credits, and I just think it helps. Well, every little bit helps in a Tier 10 match, and of course on the test server there's a lot of tank destroyers and artillery around, so you'll probably don't want to get shot. Let's take a look at a replay. Here we are on Corellia, and I actually tried to use some of my mods. XVM didn't seem to be working, nor were my crosshairs, so I just took everything out and tried to get into the game as fast as possible because I kind of crashed out of it. Thankfully, it wasn't too far into the game, and I'm just testing out the maneuverability of the STB-1, and it seems to be very good. I like it. If you'll take note of the amount of tank destroyers on both teams, well, basically I'm just gonna go around trying to spot anything I can, and well, here facing off against an object 430, you can see the side armor on the turret. It's pretty good, so just aim for the lower plate there. didn't manage to set him on fire, but I wasn't really counting on it. But got taken out by a tank destroyer. I chose this side specifically so I could test out just how good of a spotter this tank can be. And, well, I haven't really been doing too much spotting at the moment. But I'll be moving up eventually. And here we are. Oh, first I should, one thing I should mention, is that the gun depression on this tank is pretty good. It's not too bad. And the penetration, of course, is enough to go through any tank frontally, I think. As long as you aim for weak points, of course. Although the E4 wasn't really that far away from me. But there are some longer range shots near the end of this game. You can see our team is basically destroying the enemy team, and this is what happens on the test server for me anyway. It's either one team destroys the other, or you sit there and wait for a draw. That's how it's been going. There haven't been really any close games that I've played so far. I'm sure there will be at some point, but right now there's a lot of Waffentrager E100s and FV215 B183s. I'm just moving up cautiously because I'm not sure where the other tank destroyers were spotted. Okay, there's two over there. Gonna move up a little bit more. It's just that those Waffentrager E100s, they can still clip me down, and I don't want to do that. I know it's a test server and you can be completely different in your playstyles. Alright, well, here we go. Longer range shot. Still gets a shot in. Fairly good accuracy. And the aim time is not too bad. I believe the Leopard 1's aim time is very good. 1.9 seconds with a 0.3 accuracy. But I believe this is good enough. As you can see, the reload, it's not as good as an Object 430, but the other things you can do with this tank are quite a lot more. I think I can do more with this tank than the Object 140. There's the Panzer E100. Get a track shot in, and I believe he repaired, so I'm just reversing, and there you go. I didn't really do too much, but it was enough. I guess it could be called an average game. I have some assisted damage, 40 spotting damage on that STB1, 903 spotting with 482 with the tracks on the Panzer E100, and 561 on the T110E4. 772 points of experience with a little under 2,000 damage done, so it might be average, maybe a little bit below average. 31,000 credits earned on a premium account, 17,000 non-premium. It's not really something you should be looking at in a test server. I know I say this a lot on most of my test videos, but I think the STB1 is something that I will try to go for. I think it's usually the lower tier tanks that discourage me from continuing on a line. I'm really far behind on the new German medium line to the Leopard 1. That's actually not new anymore, but it's new to me. The Chinese lines, the British lines, I'm not very far in any of those. But I'll try to get an STB1, but it might take a while. Thanks for watching. Please press that like button and leave some comments. I'll see you in future videos.